Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 297, titled New Jersey Devils Will Be Fine. And also the Big Ten title. I'm your host, Sam Wu, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the bunker, from the Primetime Radio Studios bunker in an undisclosed location. Talking Devils hockey on this triple header Sunday. Game Day Live, coming to you live in about 90 minutes from now. And also Devils After Dark, a big edition as we take the Sunday edition, 9 p.m. Eastern crew. Beer Baron, Short Sky, Scotty, and I will recap the game that was. As the Devils lose in a heartbreaking fashion last night. They had the game, but then they lost the game. And what made it really heartbreaking was the fact that the Philadelphia Flyers had the big lead, not big lead, but they had a lead against the Carolina Hurricanes, who the Devils are chasing after for the top of the Metropolitan Division, while the Devils had a 2-0 lead at one point. And then, just like that, it turned into a 3-point lead in the Metropolitan Division for the Carolina Hurricanes as the Devils lost in regulation after leading 2-0. And there's a lot of pointing fingers. A lot of fans are not happy. Devils fans are not happy. And I'm here to say that the Devils will be fine. Yes, there are a lot of things to be working on, but there were a lot of good things to take out of last night's game. Number one, they brought the beef. Although they did get out-hit by the Florida Panthers, the Devils stood their ground. Also, Akira Schmid, you cannot blame him for each of the 3 goals that the Panthers had. I mean, when you leave Matthew Tkachuk in the middle of the ice, in front of the goaltender, bad things are going to happen. Obviously, the Florida Panthers scored an empty netter, winning 4-2 over the Devils last night. Devils heading over to Tampa, Amalie Arena, to face off for the 3rd time in less than a week. The Tampa Bay Lightning, who the Devils did play better. Last Tuesday wasn't the greatest showing from your New Jersey Devils, but Thursday, they played a lot better. They should have won the game on Saturday. And I wouldn't panic over a 3-game losing streak, folks. Only gaining a point, 1 of 6 points on the table. Remember last week around this time, after beating Carolina, we were on a major high. But there's a lot of highs and lows going into the playoffs. It's normal for teams to be in a mini slump in March as they're trying to get to know each other when trades happen. Timo Meier on the 3rd line, I thought, was a great idea. One of the goals by Boqvist, the Boqvist, Meier, Haula line, that 3rd line is solid, folks, and that's something to be thinking about, that the Devils can roll 4 lines. But a lot of the issues that they had last night were mental errors and mental mistakes. Too many men on the ice. Damon Severson with an unnecessary penalty. And I tweeted this out earlier today on my Twitter account. My Twitter handle is @PrimetimeSamWoo. That I think Damon Severson is going to rebound from last night in tonight's game. And I know a lot of fans are frustrated with Damon Severson, but overall performance, in the last few months, Damon Severson has been playing very well. I think the key thing here, folks, is Akira Schmid's for real. And I thought the goaltending was excellent. Other than the 3 minutes elapses of judgment by the Devils, minus Akira Schmid, I honestly thought he's the 1A goalie right now, or just flat out the number one goalie right now. Vitek Vanacek, will he get a start tonight? I assume he would. But if I were Lindy Ruff right now, I would put Schmid right back out there. You got to get the win. You can't lose 4 straight. It doesn't help with the psyche of this young team. Happy Devil Sunday to you, Mike Rossi, in the Facebook Live. Also looking in the YouTube Live, the chat was actually not working. But a little Fireboy says it was a good weekend to watch NCAA March Madness. Jersey teams knocking off higher seeds. Yeah, it was pretty fun about that. But what was fun was seeing your New Jersey Devils in the Michigan farm system, so to speak. The Michigan Wolverines winning the Big Ten title. Seamus Casey, he's looking like a great draft pick. Luke Hughes, Ethan Edwards. They're looking good. They're looking really good, as I believe they are doing the selections for the NCAA tournament. Let's see if Michigan can get in the Frozen Four. And, as a Penn State alum, Penn Stater, I'm watching Michigan. It breaks my heart, but a lot of Devils prospects are on that team. And that's why, you look at Ethan Edwards, you look at Luke Hughes, you look at Seamus Casey. Draft picks matter, folks. And the Devils gave a lot of draft picks to San Jose for Timo Meier. And I think it was a good trade for both teams. But you never know what those draft picks may become. Remember when the Devils traded Pickles, Blake Coleman, to Tampa? What's really now Nolan Foote and Timo Meier? Ted says, please do not bring back Blackwood. I think it was Bill Spaulding that just tweeted out earlier today saying that, it's not as easy as you think, where you just can't play Blackwood. You got to figure it out, New Jersey, because Schmid's my guy right now. If I was the coach, Schmid's my guy. Blackwood has had many chances. As much as I would love to root for him and hope for the best, I don't think he is the goaltender now or the future. But I think right now the future is Akira Schmid. And he should be the number one goaltender. He's proven everybody wrong. He's been the most consistent. I like Vitek Vanacek, don't get me wrong. But Schmid's the guy right now. And you got to ride the hot goaltender. I think Vitek Vanacek is better suited as a 1B right now. But we shall see. NY Davies says the line should just be Jack, Bratt, and Meyer. Disagree with you, NY Davy, respectfully. So I think part of the problem is chemistry. Jack Hughes is at his best when he's shooting first. And I think oftentimes he was often overextending himself and trying to be the unselfish player he is, Jack Hughes, by trying to feed Timo Meier the puck. But I think Jack Hughes is more effective when he's surrounded with players, and he's more of a shoot-first centerman. Timo Meier with the Eric Hollow line and Jesper Boquist, I thought it was a great combo. I hope to see that combo tonight. Seeing Timo Meier on the third line, I think, it tells you the amount of depth the Devils have at the forward position. Just defensively, they got to play a lot better. They got to play a lot better against teams like Florida and Tampa. And they play Tampa tonight. Vinny Parisi and I will be doing Game Day Live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, and 3 p.m. Pacific. Select the Boys is joining in the YouTube Live. Let's see here. But yeah, I think the Devils right now, they're going to be fine. Jack Hughes, I still believe, and we've mentioned this many times here on the podcast, I think he needs to take a break. But should he break now or should he break in April? Maybe he should break in April. But at some point, they're going to have to give him some rest. But right now, the Devils are fighting for the first place, to be in first place of the Metropolitan Division and reap the rewards and benefits of being first place of the Metro. Ted says, do the Devils still have Seamus Casey? Yes, they do. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Bachagaloop says, what's up? What's up, Bachagaloop? Thank you for representing us out in Europe. Frank, I love you, Frank. Frank, we got to hang out sometime. Frank, a fellow fraternity member of the Devils PA announcer contest a while back. Frank and I go way back. We became comrades in that competition. Yes, he was in the building. Oh, so he was in the building on Thursday, first time ever since the power outage in 2021. Yeah, when the transformer blew inside the Prudential Center. Poor Frank. That was his debut and never got a chance to PA announce, unfortunately. It was a terrible mishap. Obviously that sucks. And maybe we'll talk to you and some other time, Frank. But Frank, I would love for you to come to American Whiskey before the game. I will be there March 25th for the Devils take on the Ottawa Senators, both Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. I'm confirming that right now. Frank, anytime you want to come over to the bar, drinks and food is on me. Come over to the bar with me. I'll let you do some announcements because, I'm usually behind the scenes at American Whiskey. Yeah, text me later, Frank. Is it March 25th? Yeah, it's Saturday night. I believe it's Saturday night, March 25th. Yes, I got the dates right. Yeah, American Whiskey, one of the finest establishments across the street from Prudential Center. And also, I'll be there March 30th, Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. For Devils Rangers, going to be Ranger Hate Day. Yes, Ranger Hate Day. Because we're going all out for that day. It's just going to be a fun event. And also remember, April 13th, last regular season game, Thursday, April 13th. We're heading over to Arlette's place called Stagehouse Tavern in Mountainside, New Jersey, 1099 Route 22 East for a viewing party. Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. It's going to be fun. I hope you love the plugs, folks. Sometimes I plug a little too much, but that's okay. That's how we get the word out there. It's going to be fine. The Devils are going to be fine. Just remember, Game Day Live and Devils After Dark after the game tonight. Going to wrap up the podcast, abbreviated podcast. Dave Singer says, yo, Dave Singer, good friend of the podcast. Got to meet you, Dave. One of these days, we just got to have to meet up. Also, Devils are in Tampa, and, it brings back memories of Andrew, of Sam Bar and Grill at Cocoa Beach Florida, that time when we did the home and home, or not really home and home, the back-to-back series down in Florida. It was at Cocoa Beach. The next day was at Amalie Arena. Nick Villano and I did a podcast live from Amalie Arena, and our special guest that day was Mr. Devil himself, Ken Danico. If you don't believe me, it's out there on our YouTube channel, Let's Go Devils, our Facebook page, at Let's Go Devils Podcast, and Twitter, at Let's Go Devils Pod, where we did a podcast live at Amalie Arena, outside of Amalie Arena in Thunder Alley, and Ken Danico showed up. We had the cameras and all that. It was a fun time. Yeah, and it was like raining that day, and our tent flew across Amalie Arena's Thunder Alley because of the wind, because I forgot to bring sandbags. Yeah, that was something for sure, but absolutely we're going to get it back on the horse, said Frank in YouTube Live. Now, Max Sam, would you agree this lapse in play is coming at the right time? Yeah, it's not something you plan, per se, but I truly believe Lindy Ruff is gearing this team up for the playoffs. It's like kind of like spring training for the playoffs. It's like training camp for the playoffs, but you're still in regular season. The goal here is to get the guys ready. And we've seen the Devils in the past, in the Scott Stevens era, where if you go back to those Stanley Cup videos, some are on DVD, some are on VHS, some of them are on both, you will know that they would have a nice slump in March. And then they kind of turn it back up when the playoffs come. But there's still a lot of things to work on for the Devils. But there's still some good signs. Just remember where the Devils were last year compared to this year. They're light years ahead. The Devils have a solid 4 lines. The Devils have a beefed-up defense. John Marino, watch out for John Marino in the playoffs. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder because the knock on him in Pittsburgh, he's not really a playoff guy. I expect to see different. The Devils, yeah, the other great point, Max, that the teams are taking the Devils seriously now. Keith Yandel is wrong. The Devils are going to go to the playoffs. And what I think is, I think the slump is still going to progress. You may even lose to the Rangers, which I don't like to do. But somewhere along the line in mid-April, beginning of April, they're going to get it together. Let's hopefully they're near Carolina, hopefully ahead of Carolina by the end of the season. Because the Devils-Rangers, a playoff. You got to bring your body armor, folks. You got to bring your body armor for that series. It's going to wear you out. All right. In about 70 minutes from now, Game Day Live, 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes on our podcast pages because we have a lot of Devils fans that are truckers that drive for a living across this great nation and all throughout North America. Also, big shout out to our Germany, Swiss, Austria fan base, the UK, out in Europe. We see the numbers. Australia, Devils fans in New Zealand. We know Campbell as well. It's a Devils world, baby. Devils fans against the world. We'll see you tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, Game Day Live, and then Devils After Dark after the game. Keep it here, keep it real. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.